Well, let's imagine that we're using this drawing as a template and we want to further test the block. So I've moved to the A4 portrait sheet. We'll select the block, right click and edit the block. I've already used the mText editor here and put some information in there about the project. The project is landscape design for front and rear of Art Deco style dwelling, but you may be able to see that the height there is a little too high for what we want on our sheet. So we'll swing that back to a height of 2 and in it goes nicely. If we come over here so that we're editing the one block, the block that we've used on all of the sheets at the moment. Let's continue to work on it in the date. I just want to make sure that 03/06/2016 works and fits. It's a little tight, isn't it? So again, we need to remember we're editing the block, so we need to move that across like so, a little further. And again, one would argue that these values here are going to be a little bit big, so let's come down to 1.5 and that'll help us fit everything in. And the file name, quite straightforward here. I'm just working on a file called test2. I'll use capitals, I think, because uppercase is easier to read when it's on the drawing sheet. Now we can right click and close the editor and unselect all. If you now look at, well, let's go to the A3 sheet and zoom in here. See that all of the information that's been developed in this drawing is showing there. So editing the one block all the way through updates everything. Now just imagine that we wanted to put some sheets on and we didn't want all of this information to show. We could come to the A2 portrait here. If we wanted to reorganize that further, it's quite possible to explode, and once this is exploded you can rejig and rechange things. You might want to say that the project here is to show something else, so you can change there. So it gives you a fair bit of flexibility approaching in this way. If you use the template first, put in the general site information and then explode and edit the block later, you might, for the sake of argument, let's do a more realistic example. You might want to format, I'll say yes, add a new layout. We'll make it an A4 portrait layout, and you might well want to use this one for laying, let's kill these. You might want to use this sheet to lay out all of the images that go with the particular species you've used in the design, so that if we use the block insert command and put in title number 4 and bring it in like so, it fits nicely. But this is perhaps, notice that it's come back to the project description again. If we edit this block here, it'll change the information on all of the other sheets. So we just have to be a little aware that we would explode this block at that point in time, and now it would be a matter of draw, insert, we'd add raster images, and I'm sure we can find some raster images somewhere. Let's have a look in our temp folder, and here's an art test. I have no idea what's in it. We'll insert it, and this could be a species. Let's zoom extents, and you could then move that particular image file, and then you might want to cut and paste information from gCAD, from our SPPDB, and put in here. The point that I'm making is that the information you put down on here would be quite different to the information you put in the other title blocks on these other sheets. So this information is much more to do with the layout and design, whereas this might be relabeled species data. It would include photographs and descriptions of the species. So you would simply get in here and edit that description. So I think I'm relatively happy with that. We need to make a few small changes to the height of some of the text here and here. We might find that we need to move this line a little to the left, but those changes can be made as you go on and test this information out in different designs. So we're now ready to clean this drawing up and simply have a blank model space with these sheets organised as we've done, with the title blocks in, and we need to put them in the template folder so that when we run new templates